Yeah, Bang Bang Rail. I see a really good podcast last night with Dodge Woodall, Chrissy Lambrianou. I mean, you should watch it, mate. That was such a good podcast. Chrissy Lambrianou just kept speaking, just giving his story, and Dodge never sort of like interrupted as such. Chrissy Lambrianou was talking about a mate of mine, Ronnie Bender. I got to Chelmsford prison about 70, what, 75, 76, something like that. And I met Ronnie Bender there, yeah. And Ronnie Bender was in the Marines. He's a proper soldier. The guy they called him a captain because he was captain of all the teams, rugby team, football team, cricket team, every team there he's a captain of. A nice guy. And when I heard the podcast last night, like Chrissy Lambrianou was talking, to give Ronnie Bender the bird they give him, I think 20 years, 25 years, life and recommended 20, it was absolutely ridiculous, you know what I mean? Chris Lambrianou, he got 15 years, life for 15 years. And the way he talked about the Krays, Chris, I mean, he could have run them down a lot more than what he did, you know. But he didn't, you know, and I respect that. But the way he was talking and talking about the Krays, well, they just pushed them aside, yeah. You know, once they done Jack the Act, stabbed him to death, and then they went on their toes, went back to their little house, like laughing about it, and they left Ronnie Bender there to do the dirty work, to clean up and get rid of the body. And as Chrissy Lambrianou said, across the road was a big taxi. There was all taxi people outside going to have bagels in the morning, and Ronnie Bender would never be able to carry the body over to the station and drop him over the bridge. You know, so the guys took a right liberty. You know what I mean? Not only did they take liberty, but they took they could have took the whole blame for that. There's two of them that done it, and they could have took the blame. Why did they let everybody, right, on their firm get put away for Big Bird? Yeah, you think about it, mate. I mean, the bird that they dished out, the judge. I think it was Melvin Stevens. I'm not quite sure. I think it was him. I mean, he was one of the worst judges around, Melvin Stevens. You know what I mean? So they picked the judge for them. I'll have a look. I think it is Melvin Stevens. A bad judge, you know. But how can a judge dish out a sentence when they haven't been found guilty of the sentence that they was in the court for? They all got guilty over the shooting in the Blind Beggar, you know, and it's like it don't make no sense. They're all in there, and the woman that was in the blind beggar, the one of the barmaids, give evidence. And as Chrissy Lambrianou said, she was like an angel. The evidence she'd give, you was going to get guilty anyway. There's no way in a million years you could get off of it. And everybody found them guilty of both for no reason, for no reason at all. It's crazy, you know. Chrissy Lambrianou, well, I've done a podcast with Chris. Me and him done one with a company called Lad Bible, which is one of the biggest companies on YouTube. Chris, I sat down and talked to him before. A really nice gentleman, you know what I mean? He's like, to think, like the way he's changed his life around. He's very God-bearing now. He's into the Bible and all that, yeah. A lot of them, I've got to say it, but a lot of them do. They repent and all that after what they've done and this, that and the other. But really, he hadn't, what did he do? Just got rid of a body and got 20 years or 15 years recommendation. I mean, Ronnie Bender, a nice guy, man. A nice guy. The woman that he's with, I think she was a Filipino or something like that. She's waited for Ronnie Bender for 20 odd years. You know, 20 odd years for nothing. For nothing. You know what I mean? I know it's a conspiracy in a way, isn't it? It's a, it's a conspiracy to murder. That's what it really is, you know, and it's a bad charge. Conspiracy commits a number of things, yeah. But they didn't have a leg to stand on. They never had a leg to stand on. And the Krays thought it was clever to keep their mouth shut and to give everybody, all their firm, to make sure all their firm went away with them. You know what I mean? And it makes me sick. And on top of that, Chris Lambrianou was saying that I think it was Ronnie. I'm not quite sure. People tell me if I'm wrong or right. That was on sulfate. That was on sulfate 24/7. Never slept. Always taking sulfate. You know, made him very bad tempered. Made him ache and all that, and he was just taking it and taking it and taking it, and he got paranoid, really paranoid, and in the end, you know, it just the drug took over his whole body and made him a nut. You know, and I was thinking, not, you know, about Dave Courtney. Dave Courtney, same thing. He was on sulfate. He was on sulfate for years, 24/7. He was on it. You know, to try and do what? And look how it ended up. It ended up killing him, sulfate, in a way, because sulfate reversed itself. Instead of making things better for him, it done all his joints and made them worse. He couldn't walk. He couldn't do anything. He got paranoid. He become a nasty person in the end. You know, and that's what sulfate does to you. It just kills you. You know, and it just takes over your body. You know, and as it happens, sulfate is a cheap man's coke, yeah? And, you know, for not just running him down as such, but I'm just thinking, and just what he says on one of his interviews, that he runs down people for taking cocaine. Cocaine is a mad drug. It's there for fools. Only fools take it. And yet, he was on sulfate for years. And sulfate is a poor man's coke. You know, and taking coke like he took coke and made him, you know, get injuries like he had. Was it rheumatism, arthritis? It doesn't work. You can't take them sort of drugs with rheumatism, arthritis, and drinking as well. It makes it 10 times worse. You know what I mean? But he did. You know, and it makes you think: did he follow one of the Krays? You don't know. He loved the Krays so much, he might have. Oh, what, they're taking sulfate? I'll take sulfate. You don't know. It might have been that way. You know what I mean? But when I heard Chris talking yesterday, when I was watching Woodall's podcast, and I thought, wow, man, crazy, mad, just a mad life that Chris went through with the Krays and Ronnie Bender and everyone in the firm for no reason. The Krays just shut their mouth and let them get big bird. You know, and people, and as he was saying, Chris Lambrianou, that they had nothing. They had the firm around them. They had nothing. There wasn't business people like the Richardsons. The Krays would send their men out, maybe to get £10, £20, demanding money remittances of people, you know, and give it to the Krays. The Krays had no money. You know, the only way they had money if they heard about someone doing a robbery, and they'd go on and bully them for them to get a big bit of money, and then they go to the Regency or the club they had, yeah, and go there and buy bottles of champagne, you know, put their money over, put bottles of champagne, the money they just took from people for doing bits of work. You know, and Chris said, you know, that they was just, you know, he said Reggie was okay, yeah. Reggie was, you know, he was a kind man. You know, you could talk to him, but the worst thing, if you upset the Krays, you would have to go. You know, and that is it. You know, but what hurt me more than anything was Ronnie Bender. The Ronnie Bender turnout killed me, mate, because when I was with Ronnie Bender, and the way he loved his wife, and he used to do that astral projection, you know, and actually meet her somewhere, I have to believe that, you know what I mean? I have to believe that actually happened, yeah? And Ronnie Bender, to get what he got, just, you know, a proper nice guy, just driving them Krays around in the car and fighting for England in the Marines, went all over to fight for them, and then give him that sort of sentence. It's mad. You know what the judges in them days, they were just bad people, mate. They were just bad people. There was a little firm in them, 5 or 6 of them judges in them days, Griffiths Jones, Ralphie Stevens, Denham, you know, and Luke Widgery, and all them sort of judges, and Michigan and Mason. There was bad judges. Argyle, Abdullah, you know, I mean, proper bad judges, mate. And they just whooped it on you, give you bundles and bundles of bird. Anyway, bang, bang, rail. Just thought I'd have a little video this morning. I'm sorry looking like this, but I'm going to do a workout. I've got all my stuff out in here now, all my gym stuff, you know. I put most of my gym stuff in this room here, because up in the actual, where I train, in the gym up the hill, is freezing cold. There's no heat in there, you know. You know, they were going to put heating in there and decided not to. And I was training up there, and it was so cold. It was ridiculous. My hands were red. My face become red. It was just freezing cold. My head. They said, "Well, wear a hat." Listen, you know, I just thought, nah, ain't worth it. I'll just bring it down here and work out every morning in the gym now. So I can work out in every morning now a lot better than I can up there, because I used to get peed off just thinking about going in the cold. So I didn't train. But now it's here, I can get up in the morning, have a cup of tea and a bit of toast, come in here and have a workout for an hour and a half, which is lovely. I'm doing it every morning now. So anyway, bang, bang, rail. Please press the like button and subscribe, and good morning, yeah? Nice one. And Mr. Woodall, nice one, mate. Fantastic, fantastic podcast, Chris Lambrianou. Check it out, yeah?